We're in Las Vegas now for the Las Vegas Grand Prix, so it is time to do my predictions for the 2024 Las Vegas Grand Prix. Yes, that's another race in America. So it's time for good surprise, and it's going to be Charles Leclerc. I just want to clarify something, actually, because there's going to be a lot of Charles Leclercs in this video, is that people were saying Ferrari going to struggle this year because of they've got, basically, last year they were really quick at turning their tyres on in cold conditions and in qualifying better than the Red Bull, and this year they're not going to be quite as good. But it's a street circuit, and it's Charles Leclerc, the man who won in Monaco, the man who took pole in Baku. This is Charles Leclerc, the master of all streets. Like, I know Sergio Perez is like the street fighter of Formula 1, but Charles Leclerc is just the man, you know, at street circuits. This is the man who pushes the car at any track that is a street to the maximum. And I feel like Charles Leclerc this weekend is going to do really well. Now, I've normally predicted Lewis Hamilton to be good surprise, and every time I do that, he ends up out in Q1, so let's just reverse things and put him in the bad flop. Hamilton's been pretty awful the second half of this year, and to be honest with you, he was out in Q2 here last year, and that was meant to be his good year. I put an article on my website saying that Lewis Hamilton's 2023 season wasn't actually as good as people thought, so you can go and check that out. I'll probably put a link in the community of like on my channel if you want to go and check that out. I think Hamilton, if he was bad here last year, he was involved with two collisions. The opening lap collision with Sainz and got a puncture fighting Piastri. This year, I wouldn't be surprised if he's out in Q1. Now, there's all these questions. Has Hamilton lost it? I think he has. I think ever since he won in Spa, Hamilton's been dreadful. But every time the car was fast, he has delivered. And I think that's Lewis Hamilton in 2024. When the car is fast, he delivers. But when the car is slow, he's just not there anymore. And I think Lewis Hamilton is 2024 is one of his worst years in Formula 1. You can compare that against 2011. 2009 was a better year. But this year's been a year where he has just been outclassed by Russell in every pretty much way possible. But for pole position, we're going for Charles Leclerc, who is just a master of one-lap pace in a car that will be quick around the streets of Vegas, and you've got the master of one-lap performance, Charles Leclerc. He dominated qualifying last year, but still only ended up on pole by a 10th, but it was the most predictable pole fight of the year. Well, maybe apart from Saudi Arabia, but even then Verstappen was out in Q2. But I do think Charles Leclerc will take pole position in Las Vegas. Verstappen was out in Q2 in Saudi Arabia 2023. I mean, of course, there could be a twist, and I think Charles Leclerc is just going to deliver this weekend. In a way, maybe Carlos Sainz won't. Although Sainz was only 50,000s off him in qualifying, which was actually interesting to look back at. But overall, I think Charles Leclerc was just very mighty here last year. In terms of one-lap pace, that's never been his problem. So I've no doubt he'll take pole position easily. In third place, though, I'm going with Max Verstappen. Now, people are saying, no, it won't be Verstappen. But Verstappen, trust me, definitely 100% will be on the podium in Las Vegas. And here's why. Verstappen won the sprint in USA and finished third in the race. Red Bull's upgrade there worked. In Mexico City, Verstappen, had he not got all these penalties and stuff, probably would have finished in fourth position. And in Brazil, Verstappen won anyway, and in the rain or dry, he was looking pretty much the second fastest team in Interlagos, faster than Ferrari anyway. So, in Las Vegas, I do think Verstappen will be able to beat people who maybe struggle on the streets a bit more, like people like Carlos Sainz and Oscar Piastri and the Mercedes of George Russell. So I think Verstappen will basically get a podium on default. I don't actually think it's going to be really competitive. I think Verstappen will just get a podium, and I think he's just going to work the wheel out of that Red Bull and get it to places it doesn't deserve. As for Lando Norris, he's just going to lose another win, and I think that's essentially Lando Norris' season. In my opinion, he's had a dreadful year, and anyone who says otherwise, well, I've seen somewhere in the driver ratings where they put him second for overall season so far, and I just don't understand why people are saying he's had a good year. He's made far too many mistakes. He's been far too lenient to Max Verstappen, especially in wheel-to-wheel combat, as seen in Mexico and the United States Grand Prix. I just don't see him having a good weekend in Vegas. Yes, second place sounds good, and he will keep the championship fight alive but I just don't see him just having a good weekend. And I think Norris's form has just been dreadful, and in Brazil, it got to an all-time low. The fact he lost the lead to Russell, he slithered off the track, had to let McLaren do team orders to let him get back ahead of Piastri, and the fact he was beaten by two Alpines was just disgraceful. I mean, I know Russell and Leclerc did too, but Russell was right on the tail of Gasly at the end. But in the win, we'll go to Charles Leclerc, who will easily win the Las Vegas Grand Prix. I think we're going to have another brilliant race. I hope we do. I just think everyone wants the championship at least to get to the penultimate round. I don't think anyone actually wants it over just yet. I feel it'll be boring once it's wrapped up, so hopefully we don't. If Verstappen does win a championship in Vegas, that would be well, that would actually be a good way to win the title. I think Charles Leclerc's just going to win, you know what I mean? This year's been brilliant, and if he does, he'll have more wins this year than Lando Norris, who's had the fastest car ever since, like, people say Miami, but let's face it, he didn't. Imola, Verstappen won, mainly because of a tour. I think Austria was Verstappen's last, yeah, that was the last time he had the fastest car. So Norris has had the fastest car since Silverstone, and he has only won 2 times with it, and got an assist, obviously, in Miami to win. But these are my thoughts, so let me know down in the comment section below. Who do you think will win in Las Vegas? Who will flop? Make sure to check out my articles on my website in my community section, and I'll see you next time.